It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I had the privilege to interview the UNCG's head softball coach, Janelle Breneman. How are you doing today?
I'm great, Brandon. Thank you very much.
Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to get started in your college coaching career?
Yeah, I found myself in high school really having some leadership responsibilities, and I really enjoyed that part of the sport. Obviously, softball was always one of my favorite sports, but I also played field hockey and basketball, and I really enjoyed leadership roles throughout high school. So I was approaching my senior year of high school, and my mind was set on I wanted to be a college coach someday.
What was it like getting to play at Bloomsburg University?
Bloomsburg University was a great choice for me. Throughout the recruiting process, you definitely, go on campus tours, meet with the head coach, get to know some of the players. So throughout the recruiting process, Bloomsburg was just the perfect fit for me. It was not too close to my hometown of Ephrata. It was not too far away. So I really had a tremendous college experience at Bloomsburg, and I met some of my longtime best friends there. We played competitive, went to postseason all 4 years. And my college coach, Jan Hutchinson, which is, she is a 2-time Hall of Fame coach in both field hockey and softball. So at that point, I just really enjoyed playing for Coach Hutchinson and had a tremendous experience. And she is one of my hugest fans and mentors to this day.
What was it like getting to put on that Bloomsburg jersey?
We took pride in, wearing our jersey game day. Every kid, you like to practice, but game day is special. And, to put on your Bloomsburg jersey and represent each game was, a special moment. And I, looking back at, we had such, great competition on the field. And, it doesn't always come down to win or losses either. It's just so rewarding to go to work and work all week, and then to be able to take the field on weekends and have success, which what we had there at Bloomsburg. We were really a strong team. So we worked hard and we had a lot of success. So it was great.
What was it like going to the NCAA tournament all 4 years?
Yeah, that's kind of what we played for, Brandon. We would be, in our conference, really competitive. We were definitely the top team in our conference each year. So our sights always set on postseason, and our goal was to win a national championship. Definitely fell short. And if I had the ability to go back, it would probably for us to go back and play a couple games a little bit differently and come out with a national championship. But it was great to get to that big stage all 4 years of my college career.
What was it like leaving college to go to play professionally for 2 years at Georgia Pride?
Yeah, I was fortunate. I was in the right at the right time. My catcher, Marty Ladada, which was a very talented catcher. She was playing in the pro league, and as a shortstop, she she had a very strong arm, and she was really the connection from a catcher to a shortstop that we had. And so I really kind of got this call from her team, and they needed a shortstop. And I thought about it for about 10 minutes, and I definitely said, yeah, I'd love to join. And I feel like I think in a 48-hour time span, I found myself driving to Georgia and getting thrown right into the league. But it was really great level competition. It was one of my highlights in my career, being able to compete against some of the best. And it was a great experience, and I was fortunate to play on the Georgia Pride team.
Of course, coming off of your professional career, what was it like getting into college coaching and getting your first head coaching job?
Yeah, I mean, it was something that I wanted. I definitely knew that's where I wanted to be. So it was a great time. I was a very young head coach, but I was ready for it, or so I thought. And then you're learning along the way. I had a really great assistant athletic director, Carrie Snyder, who really took me under her wing and helped me, because there's a lot of things as a first-time head coach. I think I was 24, that I wasn't prepared for, but she really helped. I really utilized a couple of the other head coaches at East Stroudsburg for some advice and some, to know who to talk to or know what to do in certain situations with recruiting and things like that. So I was surrounded by people that were really helpful, and I also could emulate how my recruiting process went, the good things from my recruiting process. And really I could, I set up my approach really to what my head coach, Jan Hutchinson, did at Bloomsburg. So
what was it like getting the head coaching job at East Stroudsburg?
Yeah, and that's basically kind of what I talked about. That was really, I was a first-time head coach, and it was learn by fire. It was again, I emulated a lot of things that I found successful that happened at Bloomsburg University. So that was a great example that I really utilized at East Stroudsburg, and it was a great experience, and I learned a lot.
How was it like going to Bucknell to become the head coach there?
Bucknell is a small school in Pennsylvania, but leaving East Stroudsburg for Bucknell was definitely the right decision. I wanted to get to the Division I level. We definitely have better facilities, Bucknell, and I was able to recruit a larger number of students, and it was a very competitive northeastern schedule in the Patriot League, and I really excited about my opportunity at Bucknell. And at that point, I was my second stop, but definitely that experience taught me a lot, and I think it gave me the knowledge to work through with recruiting tasks that were different to Bucknell. It's a very high academic school, so my recruiting had to change a little bit, but it really made me adapt as a coach. And I really found that position to be rewarding.
How was it like going as head coach at Bucknell to going to UNC TarHeels to become the assistant coach?
Yeah, the time was right, Brandon. Obviously, I was in Pennsylvania for 9 years. and it's cold and we get a lot of snow. So I had previously worked softball camp at UNC and really developed a good relationship with Coach Donna Papa. And I worked her camps for 2 summers, and then she had an assistant position open, and I was ready. I was ready for warmer weather. I was ready for a change in my career. And this seemed like the perfect fit for me, and it definitely was.
What was it like getting to coach in the ACC at UNC and coach under Coach Papa?
Um, it was great. I was there for 6 years and I enjoyed each and every year. Coach Papa gave me the liberty to really, do my thing in the infield. I assisted with the offense at the time, and I learned, from her and Beverly Smith, who was the assistant, and we really had a very talented team. We were ranked in the top 20 for I think 2 or 3 of those years. So we had some outstanding student athletes, and it was so much fun each day to be challenged by some really talented athletes and in the infield and offensively. So to surround yourself with like a Danny Spalding, to say one, she was a really standout pitcher, hitter, and first baseman. So to be around that high level top 20 team, I enjoyed every day of it.
Of course, during your time at Carolina, what was it like playing against teams like Duke and NC State?
Yeah, at that time, Brandon, Duke did not have a softball program when I was at UNC. Obviously, currently they do, but yeah, NC State was always really competitive and was one of our rivals in the ACC. It was always, you knew it was going to be a competitive game, and we had some really great battles with the Wolfpack being down the road, so close to campus, but those matchups were always fun and competitive.
What was it like going to South Carolina Gamecocks to become the assistant coach after leaving UNC?
It was a tough decision to go or stay, but I wanted to see what SEC softball was all about. I wanted to experience that high level of competition, and I wanted to compete in at the time, some of the best softball facilities, stadiums that were around, the country. So I was able to, coach at South Carolina for 2 years. And I went there with Beverly Smith, and it was, it taught me a lot about even just problem solving and recruiting. Again, another chance to, fine tune your recruiting skills, develop different relationships, North Carolina versus South Carolina. So I think, it helped me to learn a different skill set and really add to, what's making us successful at UNC. We transformed into the South Carolina mindset. And, my experience there again was great. I loved working under Beverly Smith. And my experience, I think, set me up for my current position and has made me a better coach.
Of course, during your time at South Carolina, what was it like coaching against Georgia, Alabama, and Florida?
Yeah, I mean, it was competitive, and those 3 programs that you mentioned were definitely, the top in the conference. And at the current time, South Carolina, we weren't quite as competitive as we wanted to be. So they were challenging, but like you talked about earlier, game day and having the ability to compete and to coach in the SEC, to match up against Florida it's, putting your jersey on, getting a chance to go compete against top teams in the country. I mean, you can't ask for much more. And it was, I really enjoyed 2 years there. And again, it gave me and made me fine tune a lot of different skill sets that I feel like I utilize now.
How was it like going from the ACC to the SEC to now the SoCon where you're at now with UNCG?
Great question. Softball is competitive on all levels. I think, the game itself is not different, right? And the athletes aren't different. Everybody wants to win. They want to compete. You work hard preparing your team to be ready for challenges that will come up in a game. So the preparation, the practices, breaking down of how are we going to improve in this area versus how are we going to really continue to do what we do well. That process and that part of coaching doesn't change at any level that you're on. But again, the things that I've learned, the things that I've gone through back in Pennsylvania as a head coach, and being able to have that great opportunity of being an ACC assistant and an SEC assistant definitely has refined my game skills. And I think it has helped me be, the person that I am today. So I'm very grateful for those opportunities.
Can you talk about, of course, the 2017 remarkable season going to the conference?
Yeah, 2017 was, one of those years I'm never going to forget. And it was, winning our first conference tournament, regular season. And, it's what we were preparing for. And we certainly had some, very talented young ladies here. And collectively, we were playing at a high level. So, that was our goal. That was what we wanted to accomplish. And there's no better feeling on that last conference matchup when you get to celebrate with your team for winning a conference championship, and to see those, especially, leaving as a senior, having, really accomplished what we set out for is one of those rewarding things. It's also fun to watch the rookies, the freshmen, which, get that first year and you win your conference. That really to me sets a tone as well, as, okay, we, contributed and we really got to celebrate as a team. And that was a special moment.
What's the 2018-19 season like to back-to-back conference championships?
Yeah, 2008, really, we again played a great regular season and won our regular season, and then went on and were our conference champions. So moving on to postseason, Brandon, and going to regionals at South Carolina was again something that we talked about, going back to that fall season, and that's something that we set out to do. To not repeat myself, but it wasn't a surprise because we felt and knew we were talented enough to do it, but you still have to get it done each and every weekend to win. And then you need to be playing well for the conference championship, and we certainly were. And going on to postseason with UNCG was very special, and is something that each fall, throughout the time here, we're always striving for postseason play. And that's become a regular conversation that we have here at UNCG, which probably was not quite the case, when I first arrived.
Can Can you talk about, of course, the culture that you've built since you've been there at UNCG?
Well, I am the most proud of the group of young ladies that make up the UNCG Spartan team. We have some outstanding players that not only can play a high level of softball, that's obvious, coming off of winning our for this many years in a row, but we have outstanding ladies that are high achieving in the classroom, and they are just great people to be around. So the proudest thing that stands out is the character and the makeup of our team. They're fun, they're crazy sometimes. I mean, you name it. We got a lot of personalities going on, and we work hard, but we have a lot of fun at UNCG. And I think that's probably the most thing that consistently we are replicating, and the hard work, but the fun that comes with it, because we have the opportunity to play the sport that we all love, which is great. I love going to work each and every day, and practice is my favorite time of the day.
What does a typical game day look like, and some of your game day traditions that you have at UNCG for the softball program?
Again, getting to get to put on our we get to put their uniforms on, and just to see is something that's a highlight for game day. And then we kind of go through a warm up routine and then warm up on the field, but rituals built into that, whether it's some handshakes or some just different things that they have that makes them relax, but get ready to hear your teams change with personality. How are we going to compete together as one, and how are we going to win this ball game? That's kind of what we're talking about each and every game day.
What does the recruitment process look like for prospective student athletes?
The recruiting process, a lot of times in college, and myself and my staff, we will watch a lot of players in both the summers and the falls. So we are on the road a lot in July and August, and then into the fall season. And we're looking for players that fit our need here at UNCG, but we're also looking for those players that fit into our mindset of being a great teammate, competing hard, making decisions with time management, both in the classroom and with softball. So we're really getting to know players, and also we get a chance to show off and show them what a great facility we have here at UNCG, and showing them campus, and really, getting to talk about our program and seeing if it matches up to kind of what they're looking for. But this is a special place, UNCG. We have a beautiful campus and a great facility. So, recruiting is just a matter of the right fit on both sides.
What's it like as head coach seeing those recruits come on campus on the official visit and seeing the program and what the field looks like and what the uniforms look like?
Yeah, official visit weekend is fun. It's a great chance for our incoming class to get to know each other more. And then we set up different things that they get to spend time with in small groups with our young ladies, because it's what they've worked for the whole time, and to be able to come on campus and watch us compete on their official visit is always exciting for them. And for them to know that, wow, in a couple months, that's going to be me on the field. I think that is one of the things as a head coach that you'd love to see, how excited they are for that next step, to put a uniform on. And official visit weekend is pretty cool. And it's exciting to see both your current players mesh with the newcomers and those high school players really excited about the next step and being a Spartan. It's a rewarding experience.
What advice would you give those prospective student athletes looking to play college softball?
Can you say that again, Brandon?
What advice would you give prospective student athletes looking to play college softball?
There's no set way of how recruiting should happen and work. So my advice would be to, play the game, compete, do your best. And there is a right fit out there for you. There are several different levels of softball, and there's the right fit out there for each and every young lady that wants to play softball. It's a matter of finding it and making sure that your academics line up for that as well as softball, because we have awesome jobs, and I'm a softball coach, but the number one reason I'm is to young ladies get a degree and get an education. That's first and foremost. So finding that matchup and figuring out the softball part that you will be competitive at is important as well.
What advice would you give college softball players looking to go play professionally after their playing career, whether it's Athletes Unlimited, overseas, or obviously the Olympics?
Yeah, I mean, that's the exciting part. There's different places for these young ladies to play after college. I don't think there's any, this is what you have to do. It's basically comes down to, having a successful college career. And if you are one of the top in the game, I think then obviously those opportunities are given to you, whether it's a tryout, whether it's a opportunity to compete. So I think it's still just managing your responsibilities as a student athlete, and working hard on and off the field so that if given the opportunity, you're ready to compete, ready for a big tryout. But there's no real set way. I think it comes down to being one of the top 5 to 10% that there are out there in the nation, which is, which again it's quite an accomplishment. And I think it really comes down to that, Brandon.
What advice would you give those future college coaches looking to become head coaches or even softball coaches on the college level?
I think just really being true to yourself, true to really making sure you're passionate about it. Coaching is one of those things that you have to really be passionate about it. And, I think to start being a really assistant coach is a great step to being a head coach. And I feel like that is what really prepared me for my opportunity. And I'm grateful for my opportunity as the head coach here. But without those opportunities at South Carolina, UNC, and previously in Virginia, I wouldn't be, as prepared as I am. So, really utilizing opportunities that you have, whether it's an assistant coach or a grad assistant, and really being passionate about the sport. I think those are the main important characteristics, I would say.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media along with the UNCG softball program at?
Yeah, we on Twitter at UNCG Softball, and we also online. You can find our really competitive schedule this up and coming spring. We're looking forward to traveling to Florida for opening weekend, and but we really do have a lot of great competition coming here to Greensboro. So we host tournaments, and so we have a great home schedule as well that can be found, on uncgsoftball.com. So reach out, look at our schedule, and see if you can make it. We do host camps and clinics throughout the year, as well as summer camps. So those would be great ways to get to see our young ladies compete.
That's great. Where can my listeners find you at on social media?
I am, my Twitter is Janelle Breneman, or actually it's Coach Breneman on Twitter. That's where they can find me.
Thank you again, Coach Breneman, for your interview, and best of luck in your future as the UNCG head softball coach.
Thank you. I appreciate the time, Brandon, and I appreciate what you are doing to highlight different coaches and athletes. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach Janelle Breneman, for your interview. Best of luck in your future.
Thank you.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.